Hello, hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Welcome back if you are old, and welcome if you are new. Today we are talking about May 2025 transits, and May is not really playing around, okay? We got Saturn entering Aries, and this is going to be some interesting new energy we have. Gemini season is kicking off, and we're starting off with amazing energy. And we have, of course, we have our full moon that we're going to talk about, our full moon in Scorpio. We have a new moon in Gemini. This month is a huge pivot point, and we're ready to break through the old limits and ride new waves. And you cannot sleep on these transits that I'm going to discuss. We're going to dive into everything. The new moon looks very positive too. So let's see how we have for, let's see what we have for May.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so here are our transits that we have, and these are the dates. I did not include, which I put separately, the lunations, the ingresses, which is like when a planet is retrograding and not retrograding. All that is on the next slide, so you will see it. So first, we have May 2nd. We have Venus is going to conjunct Neptune and Aries. Okay, May 12th, we have Mercury squaring Pluto. And then we have on the 17th, the Sun conjunct Uranus, Mercury squares Mars. On the 18th, we have Jupiter square the North Node. On the 24th, we have the Sun. It's going to trine Pluto. That's positive. Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus. On the 27th, we have another trine that's positive. Mercury is going to trine Pluto. And then we have on the 29th, closing it up, we have a Cazimi, which is Mercury is conjunct the Sun. This is also positive. Now, also, we have our full moon, which is going to be May 12th, and our new moon is going to be in Gemini on the 26th. May 1st, we have Mars in Leo. It's going to go, the shadow phase is going to end on the 4th. Pluto is going to retrograde in Aquarius. We will talk about that. And Venus is going to post shadow phase. The post shadow phase ends. So we got two post shadow phase ending in the month of May. That is positive, you guys. Now on the May 10th, Mercury is going to enter Taurus. On the 20th, we have our solar return to all my Geminis. Happy birthday, Geminis. May 24th, we have Saturn entering Aries. And on the 25th, we have Mercury entering Gemini. Okay. So who's excited about May? My daughter has a birthday in May, so there is that. I'm changing constantly the background. If you guys are not new here, we're shifting things over. My bookcases broke, and so I ordered two huge bookshelves, and they don't fit this wall. So I'm working things out. I usually have a big painting. You guys, I like color. This is not color. This is more my husband's kind of energy. It's not my energy. This dark, smoky, masculine. Anyway, before I even get into the transits, let me tell you guys, I'm into Dubai perfume. I'm into Middle Eastern perfume. I have a San Gold on right now. Very grown. That is my perfume oil. I have a perfume oil too because I can't get enough. Can't get enough. Anyway, but this is Hassan Gold. I don't know if you can see how to spell it, but it is a Dubai perfume. If I have time, I'll list it down. It's ANASAAM. ANSAAM Gold. It smells very grown, sexy, a little fruity. Yeah, very feminine, but grown and feminine, okay? Not in a sexy way. So I shouldn't have said sexy. And also too, because people ask, okay, I have on a lip balm, not lip balm, but gloss balm stick by Fenty Glow. It says, oh no, it's called Fenty Glow. It's by Fenty Beauty, and this is 01. It has some sparkles in it, and chestnut lip liner, and yeah, okay. Oh, head wrap is by Fanjam, and my dress is an old dress from Anthropology. Okay, so that is what we have. Now let's get on to some things. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join my community. We'll get into why you should join my community as we get into the video. I did do a very detailed reading on NASA. I read NASA's chart, and it gets very interesting. I put that in, my community so I can have the kitchen talk, and I can be very blunt and honest about the thoughts and what's going on in NASA. I did that because of that landing with the women, and I really wanted to do Katy Perry, but I was like, you know what, let me do NASA. We'll do Katy Perry on a fun, easy, and I'll just start out for everyone. But don't forget to like, subscribe, join the community, and don't let this May energy blind you, because I get very detailed in the community group there. Okay, now let's get on to what we have for the transits, and I'm going to start with May 1st. And May 1st, darling, and how is everyone's day? Are you guys having a blessed day? Well, here we are. May 1st, we have, let me scoop my notes over. We have Mars is now, it's going to stop this energy of the shadow phase retrograde ends. Okay, so Mars is in Leo, here it is, and this is degree it was in when it started to retrograde, and now it's not retrograding. All the energy is completely washed out and finished. Okay, and Mars is the energy of pursuing, and it's our drive, it's our action. So the accidents and people being aggressive and being dramatic, hopefully that'll slow down. It's still in Leo. Okay, but the hesitation, the second guessing, the revisiting your personal power, our leadership, our creativity, and not having a passion to get things done, all that is going to end. Okay, so the energy is more direct, it's more strong, and we're fully going to be expressing ourselves with no hesitation. Now it's full steam ahead with no more old baggage slowing you down. Your confidence is restored with this energy. There's true expression of self, clear forward motion, and healing past egos and pride. The mind shift when when Mars is fully out of the post shadow retrograde phase is, I am no longer apologizing for my power. I am leading my life with courage, joy, and full heart. This is the concerns with athletes. If athletes been having an issue, guess what? Now it will be working for you. If this is for celebrities and the drama and conflicts, all this will help you become more brave, be seen, and be unforgettable, because this is also celebrities as well. Now, as the time that we have this post shadow phase retrograde ending, we do have this T square happening, meaning that the energy with the sun, which we had last week, the oil is getting on my desk. You guys, I just wanted to smell good for myself, but I do have some things to do today, so, and this should last all day. Okay, so we have this T square here. This T square is squaring the sun, and it's opposing Pluto. The sun is the apex of this T square, and the sun's moving every day, so it's getting more away from squaring Mars. This opposition is a little bit still strong here, and when you have it opposing Pluto, then the power struggles, conflicts, and deep transformation, all of that, and you even trying to pursue things in the name of being an athlete, or you being pursuing things in the name of drama and being on stage. There's this power, this intensity, this obsession, the secrets, the mystery. It's opposing all that. Okay, so Mars wants personal action and pride, while Pluto forces collective issues, control, and deeper truths to surface. And Aquarius also represents communication, so intense communication in trying to pursue things. It's not seeing eye to eye. Okay, so it could be some confrontation, some battle over freedom versus control, rebellion against authority, hidden anger emerging. Now, I do want you to know, because we are ending this shadow retrograde phase, which is so hard for me to say altogether, but because that's ending on May 1st, then those conflicts that you're having should dwindle down. Okay, but because you have this square even of the sun, you're talking about the squaring of your ego, of your action, your stability, and there's frustrations, there's impatience energy. So do not know that. Now, at the same time, it is trining Venus and Neptune, which is a blessing. And I'll discuss all these more as it gets more exact, but you could be feeling this as of May 1st, or already feeling it now. And trining is great, because not only do you have this square conflicting, but it should be leaving, so it's easing away, but you also have this trine coming closer. And this is amazing, right? It softens the rough edges. Venus and Neptune, they're feminine energy. So Venus in Aries is very fast in love, is very passionate. Neptune in Aries is very like idealism through action. Okay, so Neptune is like, I'm going to be very brave when it comes to spirituality and charity and love and oneness. And now you have your acting out of pursuing in the name of inspiration, in the name of relationships, in the name of romantic energy, and it's a lot of love. Okay, so now not only are you wearing your heart on your sleeve, but now there's charity, there's oneness, there's a collective energy, and there's a team and there's support with this energy. Even some finances could be involved here. Okay, now, speaking of these two planets working really good with this, but these two are also on a second, really. They are conjunct at 1 degree. That's an Aries degree, and are in the sign Aries. So a lot of oneness first, impulsivity, on a positive side and negative, because conjunctions are positive and negative. Now, when you have Venus, the planet of love and relationships, beauty, money, and values, it shows what we desire, what we attract, how we express our affections, how we relate, how we attract money. Okay, Neptune is the planet of dreams, illusions, and mysticism and escapism. It blurs the line, it blurs boundaries. It's all about fantasy. There's fogginess here too. Aries, and they're both in the sign Aries. Bold, first, the individual, impulsive, action, self-focused, fearless, self-starting, passion-driven. So now here's some positive and negative. Okay, you can be sweet nature, enduring, gentle. There's grace, because Venus adds that grace. There's generous. You're very generous with charities, spiritual ideas and love, friendships, feeling of melted ecstasy, devotion for a beloved, vulnerability, codependency. Okay. This is the negative side. Romantic illusion, confusion, deception, over idealizing a relationship. Okay. So people who are dependent on relationships versus the self, this could be an issue. Or maybe you're newly dependent on something, because that Aries is a new energy. Okay. Also, maybe falling fast, really hard. That could be happening, or seeing a partner as perfect, or fiery, creative, artistic vision. Maybe you're putting a romance and making that person a hero. So willing to fall in love fully and instantly that there's no boundaries. You ignore the boundaries. What you truly want, you're dreaming about what you truly want, but you're not really supposed to want that. Okay, because it's an illusion. It's a facade. Learning the difference between real passion and beautiful disguised illusions. Okay, get ready for that. We'll get into that a little bit deeper as we keep going on. Now, at the same time, it is sextile Pluto. So, this energy on a positive side is going to give you healing, a transformation. On a negative side, there's going to be possessiveness and jealousy. That could be happening too. But it's sextile, so it's going to be more positive. Ignore the jealousy, but the jealousy probably will make you have some self love. So maybe that will be happening again. And remember, it's trining Mars. Okay. So things you're trying to pursue, you're pursuing in love, you're fighting and you're being bold, you're being creative. So this conjunction, I think, is going to be positive. I think it's going to be more positive than negative. Okay. Just so you guys know, let me see if I have any comments here. Hello, Sandra. Danyell, we love you just the way you are. Thank you so much, Sandra, for commenting. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here to see what happens in the month of May. Okay, so now let's go back into what we have here for May 4th. For May 4th, May 4th, Pluto is retrograding. So if you saw, it's not red. Now you see it is red. Okay. Pluto is retrograding in the sign Aquarius. Pluto is a very big energy. Okay. And it retrogrades a lot. So there's no fear here. Okay. But when it's retrograding, again, any planet retrograding is redoing, is repeating. I feel like it's more intense, right? Because Pluto rules invisible forces, unseen control, death, renewal, psychological shadows, the evolution of the soul level. It's very deep. It's very intense. Okay. Very much get the skeletons out of the closet. Now it's in the sign Aquarius. Also rules power, control, obsession of power, secrecies, a lot of things. Okay. Now, Aquarius is the sign of technology, revolution, freedom, innovation, humanitarian, science, social media, communication. Did I say communication? Communication. Yeah. Oh, also rebellion and disruption, and thinking outside of the box, and being detached and cold, and thinking about the future. Okay. So, what happens when it stops retrograding? We're going to reevaluate the themes of stuff that happens in Aquarius, and there's going to be intensity with that. When we have it retrograding, so far, when it was retrograding before, social media, the owners of social media, they got harassed. Okay. Freedom of speech. I'm trying to scoop my chair up. Hold on. Can I even? What happened here? You guys, I put the wheels on this chair and sometimes the wheels pop off. I gotta figure out how to make it not do that. Okay, anyway, but Pluto retrograding. Last time we had issues with freedom of speech and social media. The guy who owned he lives in Dubai. He owns a social media platform, which I didn't even know about. And it's a social media platform that has like no rules and no boundaries. It really is freedom of speech. It is not like what Elon owns with X. Telegram. It's called Telegram. Anyway, yeah, so he got arrested when I think he went to London. So get ready for that. The social media platforms and freedom of speech being an issue. Okay, reevaluating our relationship with the future and social media, revisiting unfinished boycotts or protests. TikTok, this might be an issue. Escapism into the future, control of freedom of speech. I said we re-examine our relationship with our freedom, our individuality, our belonging in a social society. Facing hidden issues with technology or AI or computers and robots and digital control, secrets about the government and corporations, anything that they have far as technology, that would be an issue. Shifts in how we connect with groups, because this is Aquarius does represent groups and friendships, hopes and dreams, science. Yeah, okay. Anything forward thinking, we're redoing that and we're trying to see how that goes. Yeah, and also there's detachment added to this energy and there's intensity added with detachment. Okay, so get ready what that looks like. Also, this could be more internal. It's like, am I free? Am I addicted to technology? Can I get off of social media? All that. The reason why planets retrograde is because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So God's like, come on, let's repeat these steps and rework it. We got to go back deeper because you're not getting it when it's just moving forward. So let's shake up the system, shake things up, and get it focused. Okay. On a global level, I do think there's going to be something either with surveillance or technology and AI. There could be, again, issues with social media, government and corporations misusing technology. That could be happening, like that crypto stuff, digital revolutions that could be happening, underground movements, all that. Okay. Now, May 10th, then we have on May 10th, we have Mercury entering Taurus. Look at it. I love it when I see a planet at 0 degrees. That means that it's at its purest form. So the things that we get this day, May 10th, we're really going to hear it. We're really going to feel it. We're really going to be having these conversations. Okay. Mercury rules the thought process, how we speak, how we write, how we learn, how we share ideas and information and processing ideas, right? Now, Taurus is all about stability. It's all about practicality, sensuality, what we value. It's very slow, very steady, very grounded, patient, loyal, and material focused. Okay. It rules what we value, our resources, the five senses, the smell, the touch, the sight. Hence why, as we're in Taurus season, I said, okay, I'm going to show you my makeup and what I'm wearing and the scent so we can get in the Taurus energy. Okay. Yeah. So Mercury's in that sign. When it enters that sign, we're going to be feeling all this. So the notes that I have here is that this is when we get tangible results. Okay. So when the news is happening, last time Mercury is in sign Taurus, that is when Cassie, the P. Diddy and Cassie video came out. And I know it's like you guys had this video all the time and y'all releasing this. Anyway, but there is going to be some tangible results that we're going to be seeing in media. Like, oh my gosh, there's no denying it. This is not some fluff in the sky. That is going to be happening. Now, I'm going to go over Mercury and the transits of Mercury as we get closer into it. But since I'm doing a whole month, I can't go how Mercury is going to be playing out this whole time. But do get ready for something like that. There could be discussions of stocks because it is dealing with finances. Commerce is going to be focused on what we value. Ruler of Taurus is Venus, and Venus is in Aries. So a lot of things of first and self and being bold is going to affect this Mercury. So maybe it's going to be some tangible results that we're going to see, and it's going to be something that's very fiery, bold, courageous, or new. Let's see. I'm excited. I'm always here for the tea and see how this astrology plays out. And we take our time to process and respond. That is what you happen when the Mercury is in the sign Taurus. It likes to move very slow. It's very thoughtful. It's steady with communication. Also, too, conversations become more grounded, focus on real world issues. Words are simplified. It's less dramatic and more practical. Again, very slow, not fast. Minds are more patient and could dig in stubbornly. There is a sensory creativity happening here. You're really like, I'm going to make the best food. I'm going to be cozy. The best way to take a nap, how to make your bed comfortable. Those things are all about the comfort, and you're going to be discussing that more. Discussion discussions around finances and possessions and stability and building something that's going to last. Now, on the negative side, Mercury and Taurus, you're going to be stubborn. A lot of thinking of stubborn, okay? A lot of slow to adapt, a lot of being over practical to a fault. So you're focused too much on the tangible. You can't even go off of what are the feelings. Like they were saying no. They out their mouth they said no, but they're really nodding yes. That kind of energy. You're not paying attention to the vibe in the room and all that stuff. You're just focused on tangible results. Okay. Rigid communication style. You may come across as blunt, repetitive, or overly fixed when speaking. Struggles with flexibility when it comes to dialogue. Mentally lazy, that could be happening. Possessive over their thoughts, fear of change and innovation, and also being distracted by sensory. So like how I sit here and sit my perfume, and now I'm doing a whole video on perfume instead of focusing on what we have. There is going to be a lot of value-based thinking with Mercury enters Taurus, so you really want to focus while it's in Taurus on what you truly value. And I'm not talking about just material things, but really, what do you value? Like if you're a singer, do you value your voice? If you're a podcaster, do you value your words? Do you value how you process information, how you take notes? What are the things that you really value? And it's also about building communication. Like how do you build things that are going to have a lasting connection? And trust there's also trust through words. Okay. You're slowly building the trust here. I'm doing a video series on zodiac reads, and it's because I'm an avid book reader, hence why the bookshelves broke. And these are just not even all the bookshelves, okay? There are plenty of books. But what I was going to say is that when you, I'm doing a series on zodiac reads, books aligned with the stars. And in that series, right now I'm discussing Taurus, and it also is right now I'm doing slow burn readings. And my husband was like, what's slow burn? It's just so funny. And how they slowly become in love. I mean, Gemini likes to move fast. So you guys, reading these things just like got me going, oh, I can't take it moving slow. But a lot of people love slow burns. It's not my judge, but I understand. It takes time. Okay. Anyway, but this is when you speak only what you mean and you're focused on what you can build, nurture, and sustain. Now on May 12th, we have our full moon. Okay, it's going to be at 22 degrees. Okay, I know this says 23 degrees, but it's just like an hour later. 22 degrees is a Capricorn degree. When you have Capricorn, you're talking about having control, paying attention. I mean, there's public attention, there's coldness, there's fear, there's negativity, there's depression, there's a heavy weight, burdens, but also it's very rational. It's talking about the mentor. It's talking about long-term energy, and it's very ambitious, and it is the planet of karma. So that energy, right? The planet of karma, really Saturn, but that energy, Capricorn energy, is sitting with this full moon. So those aspects are going to be following this full moon that is in Scorpio. So full moons alone is about a culmination. It's about realization. It's about emotional peak. It's also about the women not getting along with the men. Okay. Or your ego is not getting along with your emotions. Okay. There's endings, there's realizations, there's breakthroughs. This is a climax, right? What we started with the new moon in Scorpio months ago, about 6 months ago, now this is a full circle of what's happening here. Okay. What is the closure? What is the climax, not the closure? Okay. So the Scorpio transformation, Scorpio is about transformation. Sorry. It's about death, power, secrets, rebirth. There's emotional intensity. This is the most emotional full moon to me ever. Okay. Cancer full moon, sure, but the Scorpio full moon is just adds to intensity. So it's not just emotional, it's emotionally intense. So a lot of people could be feeling this, especially all my Scorpios, all of my fixed signs, Aquarius and the Leos, any type of placement with that, you're going to be feeling this the most. But Scorpio energy represents death, rebirth, psychology, sexuality, things that are very taboo, your finances, trust, and deep healing. All the psychological therapy that you need to do, it's going to happen with this full moon. Okay. So what's hidden, what's beyond the surface, also happening. So with this full moon, you're going to have emotional purging. The truth could be revealed. There's some emotional endings. There's soul level healing, money, trust, intimacy. Those are the themes also connected with this. Anything dealing with personal growth, there's something that needs to be released and you need to let it go and let God. What's hidden? What is the hidden emotional truth? And are you ready to face it? Because this full moon is going to bring that up. And is there a transformation that needs to happen in regards to fear or what in regards to your empowerment? That also could be a thing happening. Okay. Now wash out. for this full moon. You need to watch out for emotional obsession or jealousy, power struggles, manipulation, fear-based resistance to change, and self-sabotaging because your emotions are so reactive. So that could be a thing. Let me see what the aspects are. We have that it's opposing Uranus, this full moon, and you see the sun is sitting close to Uranus. Uranus is a planet that moves really fast, okay? It's very intelligent. There's high communication here. So there could be some sudden emotional revelations, communication, social media, high intelligence, all is involved with this. And now it's opposing your emotions. So you being intellectual, you being out of the box, you wanting your freedom, is not working with the intensity of the emotions. Okay, there could be some surprise news, some unexpected shifts. Detached from your emotion, that could be happening as well. There's an intensity and your ego is like, I'm not attached to it. Okay, because Uranus is the same as Aquarius. If you're like new to astrology, it's the ruler of Aquarius. But there could be freedom and individuality clash with emotional needs, something that has to evolve, and it's evolving really fast. Okay, you can't control everything. Prepare for emotional curveballs that's pushing you closer to your authenticity. Now, a positive thing that is happening with this full moon is that it is going to trine, it's going to sextile the south node, but then it's going to trine the north node in water signs. So this is destiny, this is flow, this is your spiritual growth. This is a great aspect, right? Because this is going to help you be aligned with what you're meant to do. What is your destiny's path? What is your higher path? There's compassion, there's creativity, there's spirituality, and it's trusting the unknown here and the keys of the unknown and really putting it out there emotionally. So this is a positive part of this. And I think there's going to be a lot of honesty and healing and releasing, because both the Scorpio and the Pisces energy wants to release. And there's going to be some releasing happening here for you to gain something new in your life. And you see that north node is sitting next to Saturn. So this is going to be something that's very serious. It's like, we're not playing games here. Okay, you're going to be serious, you're going to feel the weight, and it's going to be positive. It's going to be positive. I do like that about this full moon. One other thing about this full moon is that it's quincunx Jupiter, the exact degree. So when it quincunx Jupiter in Gemini, there is this uncomfortable energy of something moving fast, and again, communication. So communication is going to be a big issue with the intensity and the emotions. I just want you to know that Gemini is all about communication, it's about moving fast, it's about this duality, it's about multitasking. It's very social energy. So there is some type of social, either social media or some communication like emails or technology, and it's going to be affecting your emotions. However, this is something that you're going to gain new, that's going to help you in your destiny and what you need to do to for your soul's life path. Okay. Yeah, we'll break that down a little bit more when we get closer to it. Mercury, also to this day, is during the same time as a full moon. Mercury, and then two, what is the ruler? The ruler of is in Mars. Mars is not doing anything. Mars is in Leo, so it could be a little dramatic, just so you know. Now, Mercury is in Taurus, and Mercury in Taurus is going to square Pluto. This is going to be dealing with communications because it's happening in 3 degrees. 3 degrees is a communication degree. Now Pluto is retrograding. So remember, there's something of a redoing happening here. Mercury in Taurus, remember, it wants to move slow. It wants to think slow. It's all about values and stability. And there's communication, but it's very careful. And now you have to focus on what's practical, what's real, what's grounded, what's sustainable. Now, Pluto retrograding is, again, hidden powers of the collective, communication, freedom of speech, gone. Okay. A lot of technology things here, and square is tension, it's pressure, there's conflict, it demands change. So there could be some mental struggles, there could be obsessions, there could be fear of one's dark shadow and the thoughts of that. Harmful, destructive communication, I see that being really big because you are talking about two things that are huge about communication: Aquarius and Mercury itself. There's aggressive beliefs, crude speech, and again, we have conflicts over ideas, values, resources are the right way to think. Holding on to outdated beliefs, because this is fixed energy. Taurus is very fixed. Aquarius is very fixed, meaning that it's stubborn. It doesn't want to change. There's psychological exposure. You're having forced conversations, and you don't want to have it. You're breaking the stubbornness. That could be happening as well. Let me see. Manipulation through words, power struggles as well. that could be happening. Suppress of necessary conversations, and it could be leading to you being like an outburst. Or this could be some tangible results, and it's causing you to communicate about things that are very taboo. Now, on the 15th, which is my daughter's birthday, and she's a very strong Taurus, you guys. Loves a nap, okay? Loves a cozy little place. But this is great, right? Because the ruler of your Taurus energy, all my people who are sign in Taurus, sun in Taurus, Venus is in a post shadow phase. It's the post shadow phase ends. So this is really good. And at the same time, Venus is trining Mars in Leo. So the things that you're pursuing and loving yourself and expressing yourself and your self expression and just love on all ends, especially with the self, with the Aries in the self and Leo is self expression, is all going to work out. So this is a great day, May 15th. Okay. Everyone go out, socialize. It's going to be closer to Mother's Day. I'm not sure what day Mother's Day is, but it's very positive. I should look that up. But Venus is about love, relationships, money, beauty, self-worth. Get your best perfume, okay? That really expresses yourself. Speaking of perfume, Venus rules how you relate, what we value, what we attract, our abundance and beauty and pleasure, and all the aesthetics, okay? And now you are done revisiting these lessons. You understand your true feelings and your needs and what you truly value. The financial, if you're having financial confusion, that starts to clear up. You need to feel stronger. The need for you to feel stronger in what you value and what you your self-worth, that gets better. Beauty and creative flow, all that starts to flow a lot easier for us. Okay. Now on the 17th, when is Mother's Day? Let me see when Mother's Day is. In America, Mother's Day is on the 11th. What did I say is happening on the 11th? Hold up, wait a minute. May 10th? May 10th, we have Mercury entering Taurus. Okay. So we're going to have maybe even the discussions of comfort and beauty and aesthetics will start to be a thing. We do have the full moon on the 12th, but as of May 10th, Mercury entering Taurus. I think that's fine. That's great. It didn't seem like much negativity. But if you celebrate Mother's Day a little bit later, that's also positive too. Now, let me see what else we have here next on the 17th. Was that it for, let me see, was that it? Yeah. On the 17th of May, we have the sun is going to conjunct Uranus. Okay. This is where things move so fast. Okay. The sun, it brings light to things. So the sun now is in Cazimi with Uranus, and now it's bringing to light a lot of clarity with ideas and technology in the future. And the sun is representing, right, our identity is shining a light. It's the ego, it's our purpose, it's our vitality. And Uranus is a planet of revolution. It's for the people. There's shock, there's awakening. So all this is going to help. In the sign Taurus is about stability and resources, self-worth, natural nature, security, right? I'm just trying to think of all the words you can have. So we are going to have this heightened sense of freedom, this clarity in your individuality, your independence, unique opportunities could be happening, especially for the self, unexpected breakthroughs, awakening, brilliant light of rebirth. This is very positive. I find I'm excited to see the intelligence and the clear communication and technology. What do we have? What is the light going to shine on far as Uranus for things that are very futuristic or out of the box are the calls that people are having. This could be some manic celebrations and some erratic behavior, inability to cooperate or compromise with each other. That could be a possibility as well. But I do think that when it's in the heart of the sun, leading up is going to cause some of this manic energy, erratic behavior. When I say manic, it's like how Kanye is just blurting things out. And today he's like, I don't want my kid in TikTok. And then tomorrow he's like, I'm going to own a porn company. That kind of erratic behavior. And once it hits that sun, that clears up, and there's an awareness of an aha moment, and there's clarity happening. Okay, so unexpected awakenings, breaking free from outdated definitions, a wake up call could be happening. Changes in money, possessions, body image, personal style, and how we spend our money. All that is going to happen when you get that Cazimi there. Let me see what else we have here. Mercury in Taurus. here is going to square Mars in Leo. Again, fixed energy. This is the same day. So while everyone's getting this clarity of aha moment, then there is a challenge of communication and our drive. So people might be having some sharp opinions. Mars is very sharp. It has that knife kind of element to it. There's arguments, rash and heated words, pointed sarcasm, insults, and hectic mental stress. So when Mars is the art of pursuing, so it's how we achieve things. Like if you want to get at a girl, right? You're trying to pursue this girl, and then all of a sudden, here's Mercury, it's not working. So it's like you tried to pursue the girl, but now you're arguing with the girl. That is what this square looks like, okay? The mindset of communication is a problem, and they're stubborn. It's like you don't want to change. So you're like, here I am, I'm trying to get at you, and we're having an argument because you think I'm too boastful, or I'm too flashy, or I'm dramatic, and you are stubborn. Like we can't see eye to eye because we're stubborn. Yeah, that is what you have. Let me see what else. Oh, this also could be representing leaders. Whenever you have Leo, this could be representing Trump. This could be representing any type of president, leader, and they could be having some discussions and arguments or conflict or tweeting things, and it's causing a lot of tension. Okay. Yeah, also could be about stocks and bonds and our money. But it's very slow, explosive arguments if neither side backs down, tension between practical reality and grand vision, that is that Mars and Leo, and being forced to defend values or active ideas faster than what feels comfortable. Let me see. Verbal fights. I said that. Oh, about your pride. That could be a thing. A lot of stubborn energy with this placement. Okay. Now, as of May 18th, we have Jupiter, which has been like, Jupiter, you ain't been doing it. You've been so quiet. But now Jupiter is squaring the North Node. So, not all times when you have Jupiter involved that it's negative when it comes to squares, because Jupiter is such a benefic planet. But Jupiter makes things expansive. It's growth, it's belief, it's luck, it's learning. And when it's in Gemini, it's all about curiosity and communication and thinking fast, a very surface level kind of communication, right? The North Node is our destiny, it's our soul's growth, it's our karmic pull. And Pisces, Jupiter is in Gemini, again, communication. The North Node is in Pisces. This is about spirituality. This is about faith. This is about our intuition, our creativity, surrendering, releasing, forgiving, endings. Okay. Now, Jupiter wants to learn everything quickly, ask a million questions, stay logical, witty, and clever. But the North Node is pulling towards the intuition and letting go of logic and trusting the unknown. So you have one side that says, let's collect the facts, let's stay clever, let's think our way through, where you have the other side that says, stop overthinking. What are you feeling? What is your intuition saying? So you have that issue. There could be some creative blocks happening here, a spiritual confusion, scatterbrain versus surrendering, too much surface knowledge, not enough deeper wisdom, fear of letting go, talking about faith, but not living in faith. Well, say for the people in the back, talking about faith, but not living in faith. Now, I want to preach, but I have to slow it down. Danyell, we're talking about May. When you have negativity filling your mind, because that Pisces can be a dark space, and it could embody energies of fear and the unknown and ending and not wanting to heal and release things, or feeling constraint, or having like you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? Because it's like you feel this way, but maybe the world is not providing the tangible results that you are feeling. When you lack faith, then it becomes a problem. Okay. And faith is really also based on love and compassion. Okay. So when you lack love of self, when you lack love of self, then this is an issue. Okay. So this means that, like, stop the video and focus on love and self, because love of self is going to help you in the whole month of May. Anytime you're dealing with a North Node in Pisces, you're talking about compassion of the self. So you can have compassion of yourself so you can give love to others. You know, you can't fill your cup and then fill other people's cup, because you have no cup to fill. You have no water to give. It's like when you put the mask on, you got to put it on yourself to help others. Well, you're not putting on a mask, so you can't help others. And when you can't help others, then those people are nasty, they're mean, they're negative, they're living in a lack environment. When you live in a lack environment, then you can't pursue any goals, you can't help the collective, you can't live in an altruistic mindset, and it's all very doomsday. Okay. Fear is lack of faith. Fear is lack of faith. Okay. When you have lack of faith, then you live in fear. And then when you live in fear, it starts to collect more and more and more every day. And now you went from, like, I don't think my son should go to that party. What if he gets shot? I mean, the mind takes you to crazy things. And then now it's like, well, he may not even just get shot. He might get robbed on the way up there. Wait, and his car can break down. Wait, I don't even think his phone works. It's like crazy. Instead of just saying, you know what? I have faith in God. Whatever is meant to be will be. My son is intelligent. He is strong. He has wisdom. He has intuition. Guess what? I live this life of freedom. Why can't he live this life of freedom? Focus on the love, focus on the positivity. I ran on a tangent. I'm so sorry. So now we move back on to how does this affect the collective? Because Jupiter is so expansive, it can make this fear and negativity of you pursuing something that you're supposed to achieve in this lifetime negative. And if you want to know where your north node is in your chart, I did a separate video on this. Is in my 2025 playlist, and it talks about where this is in the area of your life. Now, but how does this affect the collective? This also is dealing with some gossip energy here. Let me see. Yeah, because you are talking about communication. When you have Gemini involved, there could be some gossip, some data, some news, some chatter, lack of true wisdom, distrust of the intuition and compassion, mocking intuition, mocking spirituality, mocking Christianity, mocking Islam, mocking people religion is what you get with this too. A rise of distracting narratives, a lot of chaos. Instead of focusing on what truly matters. Okay, skepticism towards dreams and mysticism. Again, we have the faith-based movements and artists, spiritualists, healers, and dreamers, and all of them could be challenged or mocked or questioned. They're irrational. This is uncertain. It doesn't make any sense. Trying to learn, say, and think, but you're doing too much. It could be a mental burnout. And then you, instead of like learning, you try to escape. You use escapism, because escapism is a form of lack of faith and lack of love too. So instead of loving yourself and having faith, you're like, you know what? I can't even deal with this. So I'm going to go drink alcohol. I'm going to go smoke weed. I'm going to take whatever the new things that they take, mushrooms, psychedelics. It's called something. I can't think of it. But I'd rather do that. Or guess what? Maybe you don't do that. Maybe you're like, I'd rather overeat, or maybe I rather consume, or maybe I'd rather look at porn. I'll just watch Netflix all day. Those things happen. Okay. Major fork in the road, fast thinking, and versus deep healing and feeling. Now, as of May 20th, on a lighter note, the sun enters Gemini. This is all about conversation. Okay. I love Gemini energy. I love the color rainbow. I love to multitask. So I love this energy when it's sun and Gemini. Then all the rainbow things, regardless of what it represents, it doesn't matter. I just love the color rainbow. But Gemini is an air energy. It's very quick thinking. It's moving. There's variety. There's adaptability. You're exploring. You're networking. There's storytelling. Gemini rules speech. And the sun, again, is like where we shine. It's our life. It's our ego. It's vitality. It's our expression. It's the themes in our life. And now you're in it with variety and adaptability. Very mutable sign, Gemini. It likes to explore. It's networking. Community, media, multitasking, the energy of siblings too in your neighborhood, not just your neighbors, is what I was thinking. Okay. So there's a mental energy boost. You could be a little restless. Okay. But there's curiosity, a lot of questions, playfulness and humor. If you are trying to learn something new, this is a great time to do it, because you can learn something new. Duality and choice. Gemini energy teaches life isn't either or, it's both. And okay, it's like, I need to pick. No, you know what? I don't need to pick. I'm going to do both. That's very Gemini energy. So yeah, we have, let me see. Anything else? Updating your brand, your website, communications. You want to start a podcast? That's great. Launching a new course, taking an online class. This is great. Short trips, being spontaneous with some small adventures. This is great. Improving your community, talking to your neighbors, hanging out with your siblings. This is all great. Taking a class just because it sounds fun. That's also great. Now, the negatives of sun entering Gemini is that you can be scattered focus. You can struggle to finish. There's a lot of superficial conversations happening, shallow connections, half-hearted commitments, restlessness, impatience, gossip, rumors, drama, overthinking, anxiety, two-faced behavior. They say there's both sides. Well, it's because Gemini's like, well, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. Fickled kind of energy is what you get, and lack of emotional depth. Okay. Now on the 24th of May, and I'll go into what the sun does when I get closer, as I do it as the week. And what we have for the 25th of May is that this is a big doozy here. First of all, Neptune is in a sign. I mean, not Neptune, sorry. Saturn is in a sign Pisces, okay? Now, Saturn's going to move into Aries on the 24th. But before it moves into Aries, I want to briefly talk about Saturn in Pisces. And this is what we're experiencing now. 29 degrees is a very strong degree. Okay. So a lot of people who are very serious about religion, setting boundaries in regarding their spirituality, taking the heavy load of what religion and spirituality is. When it comes to charity and oneness and collectiveness, there is a heavy burden in being serious about loving others and loving all. A heavy energy of depression, alcoholism, escapism, porn, all that is here too. And now there is like a restriction with that or a seriousness of that. Maybe you're like, I don't want to drink anymore. And that is because that Saturn has been in Pisces. You're setting boundaries with, I'm not going to look at porn anymore. That is also because Saturn is in Pisces. Okay. Government is dealing with, this energy too. So the government's in Pisces, a lot of illusions, fog and deception, secrets, endings, releasing, all that is in the government, because the Saturn is also about the government. Now Neptune is in Aries, and Neptune is the picture, the photos. And in Aries, again, I told you guys a long time ago that they're going to make us do like face IDs. And now you have in America, I don't know about anywhere else in the country, in the world, you have to have the update your driver's license or your ID for you just to travel from state to state. So if you have a regular ID, if you didn't know, you have to change your ID. That's that Neptune in Aries. Now Saturn in Aries is going to be more about restricting the self. I've done a video on this alone. Get ready. Now we have Saturn in Aries. Ooh, we get ready. How do I stop this? Why is this stop? Now it just went fast forward. Sorry. So we have Saturn in Aries. When Saturn officially hits Aries, you guys, this is going to be so strong. We're going to know right away how this feels. Okay. It's going to be, hold on, let me see. Saturn, responsibility, structure, discipline, government, boundaries, long-term energy, work ethic, authority, the police, anything in a uniform, corporations. It's a test, it's maturity, it's old men. Okay. Old people too, old mentors, forces us to grow, face reality, and strengthen our foundations. Aries is about our identity, our self, our face, courage, action, new beginnings. Aries is raw, fiery. It's the warrior, it's the pioneering energy, independence, initiative, self assertion, brave new starts, bold, impulsive, aggressive, competitive as well, but sometimes immature and reckless. That is Aries alone. Neptune and Aries will both be in a sign. It's going to conjunct Neptune. And when it conjuncts Neptune, there's going to be a more seriousness about illusions, about deception, about escapism of the self. Okay. But Saturn and Aries alone, it's about building a stronger identity. You're testing courage. You're disciplining when it comes to any action. You're not just going to go out and do cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're going to have strategic and energy. And there's leadership lessons happening here. For all of our leaders, this is the energy is going to be patience, independence with accountability as well. Now, it's going to be rushing before you're ready. Aries wants you to act. And Saturn's like, no, 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 honey boo, you better slow it down. So this is going to conflict really bad. People might force things before the foundation is stable. There's frustration with authority and limits. Aries hates to be told what to do, and Saturn is the cosmic authority figure. Get ready for that. It could lead to authority clashes, rebellions, and angry confrontations when it comes to rules, impatience with hard work, burnout, quitting too early, getting discouraged, aggression, aggressive leadership. This could be a big thing too. Get ready for that. People in charge might push without listening. Loneliness due to fierce independence. Aries is a lone warrior. Saturn can harden that tendency. Saturn is a planet also too of depression. And yes, and just like pessimism, okay? Immature handling of responsibility. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to grow up. I just want to be selfish. That energy can happen. Suppress anger, explosion, new beginnings, getting delayed. Saturn likes to block. It likes to set boundaries. It makes things move slow. So you're having some false starts. You're launching something, and you have to redo it, or it's going to take longer than ever. Okay. Frustration boils over if discipline isn't practiced. Wanting instant success, instant freedom, instant validation, not going to work. The fear of starting, you got to release that. You can't be afraid of doing what is making a mistake or saying like it's going to be wrong. That's going to be an issue. Over defensiveness, fighting everyone and everything instead of focusing on the energy of being constructive. Okay, so I do think there'll be some leadership. Get ready for some new developments when it comes to like a new leader, a younger leader, a rebellious leader. Maybe new corporations could be starting, being an entrepreneur. Conflicts, more protests, more aggression with authority. Also, personal growth. People may take bold, disciplined action and see some massive breakthroughs happening too. And Saturn typically stays in each sign for about 2.5 to 3 years. So we're going to experience that. Get ready. But when it conjuncts Neptune, we are going to be living in a little Delulu land. Okay. Let's see how this plays out. It's been conjunct Neptune already, so we know this feeling. However, now it's in Aries, so there's something about the self. It makes me think like controlling pictures. That's controlling the pictures of things that could be happening on social media, or of selfies that could be happening, or controlling something new, and it's a secret, but it's going to cause confusion. Okay, let me see what else we have here. Oh, this is positive. The sun is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius, that's retrograding. So again, this is going to be about mental empowerment, personal influence increases, soul level clarity, transformation through communication, therapy, and talking through therapy. This is very positive. I think there's going to be mental power. I think there is going to be something that's intense happening. However, it's going to help you with your future, and it's going to help with you multitasking. Yeah, and help you with communication and socializing. It could be like a social event, and you're at a friend, or you're at a club, you're at a social gathering, and there's some therapy happening for you, and it just landed on your lap. So it's very positive. This same day is that we have Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus. And did I say that already? I don't think I said that. But when you have Mercury conjunct Uranus, it's sudden mental breakthroughs. It's really talking fast, really thinking fast, feeling a little manic. There's unfiltered communication. There's also be dealing with some finances, because you're talking about that Taurus energy here. Also, too, the moon is in Taurus. Get ready for that. There's going to be some major emotions with that. A mental awakening, disruption of your regular routine, doing things out of the box. Could be very restless. Could be blunt speech. Also, could be resistance to change. Be ready for that. Just value systems and money going to be a big thing. And then Mercury enters Gemini, and we have this new moon in Gemini. Mercury's involved. Again, Mercury is the planet of communication in your mind and thinking and traveling, your day-to-day travel. A lot of information here, and it's in a double sign. It's in Gemini. It rules Gemini, so it's very, very fast here, very strong. A lot of talking, a lot of mental air energy, clever, quick, social, flexible, questions, new ideas, movement, conversation, media, podcast, networking, everything on the news. All that's going to be big. So mental quickness, craving knowledge, restlessness while Mercury's in Gemini, playful communication, new ideas, a lot of gossip, a lot of mental overload, a lot of superficial energy, scattered speech. Stay away from me, because I have a Mars and Venus in Gemini. I might be talking way too much. I need to just stick to listening to podcasts, try to stay away from people. But we have this new moon in Gemini. I think this new moon is going to be very positive. So again, you have new moons is about new beginnings, planting seeds, fresh starts, starting a new emotional, energetic cycle. And you're going to set some intentions. You're going to launch a new idea. You're going to reboot part of your life that where this new moon is. And I will do horoscopes on this when we get closer to the new moon. Again, I've already explained what Gemini is, but this is new learning journeys. This is fresh conversation. communications. This could be a new trip somewhere, or a short trip, or adventure somewhere. A lot of curiosity when it comes to projects, launching a blog, a social media, or a podcast, or a writing project. Anything dealing with words or communication, like starting a new Twitter account and really being obsessed with this Twitter account. Mental flexibility as well. It's going to conjunct Mercury. Mercury is at home in Gemini. So again, there's going to be fast communication. This is going to be huge communication here. Or maybe there's a trade of some sort. But yeah, planting the seed, thinking about it, networking, all that is involved. Mental agility, all that is going to be involved here. It's also going to sextile Saturn in Aries and sextile that Neptune in Aries. This is very positive. So it's smooth, it's flowing opportunities, and it's about responsibility, long-term goals, and building things that last. And Aries is going to be something new and bravery, or starting something with the self. And there's commitments made under this new moon. And then when you have it with Neptune, the intuition, your imagination, your creativity, and your spirit is flowing in that Aries energy. It's like being brave or starting something new, or really about the self and loving the self. So this adds some magical and creative, intuitive boost to your ideas and your communication, and you launching that podcast. Yeah, it's very positive. I find that this new moon is not just sextiling these planets, but it's also trining. It also is trining Pluto. So this is intensity, but in a good way. This is transformation in a positive way. This adds power and depth, and a rebirth, or something, some psychological insight into this new moon. This is very positive. There's community, there's technology, there's freedom, there's innovation. You're rebuilding your mind, your networks, your friends, your groups, and you're healing these old patterns, and you're liberating yourself mentally, and you're stepping into your true mental power. This new moon gives you a chance to think differently, speak differently, and build a future that empowers not just you, but your community as well, or your network, or your group, or that club. Very positive. I'm excited about this new moon, and we'll get into that as we get closer. Now, on the 27th of May, Mercury also, it's dealing with this, but it's also trining that Pluto. And so this is when you are getting a therapy, and it really works for you. You get some psychological healing with this. There's more weight, and things that are things that are hidden, they're going to influence you with your words and speeches, and there's going to be more weight added to it. There's a mental focus here. There's a mindset and transfer. There's a mindset, and it's changing. There's a transformation with your mindset. Yes. Powerful conversations, intense conversations on a positive side, revealing the hidden truths and secrets that's happening here. Let me see. Also, this could be deep research, launching a very powerful podcast again, or anything dealing with writing or publications happening, gaining respect and attention through authenticity and deepness. Now, on the last day, May 29th here, and then I'm going to pull cards, so don't leave. We'll pull cards to see. Lastly, we have a Kazemi here. Is at 8 degrees. That's the Scorpio degree. So there's going to be something that's very secretive or intense, or again, some psychological energy, or things that are very taboo. Now, there is again an aha moment. There is a lightning bolt of clarification. This could be more internal than external, but there's magnetic conversations or communication. Very powerful. Identity and mind alignment, new beginnings and ideas, but it is all coming in a form of communication. We will see something in the news for sure. A podcaster, someone who communicates online, is going to be coming out saying something on the 29th. Get ready for that. A lot of talking, a lot of overload of information as well, but you will have some mental breakthroughs. You also could be doing a short trip, like traveling. Also, learning and public speaking is what we get for this too. Okay. So, before I pull the cards, I want you to know, if you're feeling any energy shift, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to hit that notification bell, and stay in the know every time the cosmos and the stars move. I'm going to keep you in touch with that. And if you want to go even deeper, remember I have my weekly astrology updates. So that's why you want to hit that subscription. But I have a newsletter. I put all of this in a newsletter. I add some extra bonus, some extra tips in there too. If there's like a full moon and a new moon and that's involved, I could put some rituals. I do put some rituals in that. My private community, I already said I did a reading on NASA. I have some great ebooks that are completely free in there and a lot more daily readings and all that. Okay. So let's do the reading, which I'm going to do pick a card for May. That might be coming tomorrow. We have some cards here. A lot of cards. Okay. So in this month of May, we have the Page of Cups here. Where are you? Who wants to help me here? We have the Page of Cups here. And the Page of Cups is saying there's some curiosity this month of May. We will be expressing a lot of love. We will start to learn how to embody compassion. That is very Neptune and Aries, but that's going to be happening. Page of Cups is the earth sign and water sign. So there's this element of moving slow and also feeling at the same time. And you're starting to produce things of love, relationship, intuition, and spirituality. Now we have the Three of Cups in reverse. You're going to feel like people are not supporting you, but that's okay. Because remember, I told you have to have love of self. And that Page of Cups is teaching you to love yourself and to love relationships. And regardless of the support that you may not be getting. Now we have the Two of Cups. This is finding someone you're aligned with. And maybe that lack of support is going to help you reduce things that you are no longer that's serving you. And you have to release that and you have to focus on people who you are more in line with and who value the same things you have. Then we have the Three of Machetes in reverse, and the Three of Machetes in reverse, using the upright is heartbreak, but now the heart isn't hurt. So it's like you are deciding to love yourself. You're thinking about, this happened in the past, and I'm going to learn not to repeat that in my future. So very positive there. So I do think you're going to find in the month of May someone that you're truly aligned with as a collective through all these transits. And it's going to help you find loving yourself so you won't have these heartbreaks. And then lastly, we have the Queen of Machetes in reverse. Get ready for the gossip. Get ready for the misalignment when it comes to words. Be careful what you read on the news or what you hear about the news. Be careful of the stories that are coming out. It might be worse, especially with that Gemini. Also, just talking to people and having that day-to-day gossip. Be leery of that. This is when the machetes is in reverse. This is lack of clarity. So it could be like a mental fog. This is also the energy of sabotaging with words, not being positive with your words, not loving with words, lack of love when it comes to words, a lot of arguments, and it's stemming out of things that are not true and honest, and lack of research. Okay. So that is what we have for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching us live. May overall, though, is going to be very positive. We have a great new moon. I just want everyone to be leery of their conversations and their words. I want you to take in research and use your intuition. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.